We've been playing with dolls. That's right, and we've been having so much fun. We have fallen in love with Julie Nutting's stamps made by Prima, and they just offer so many possibilities.
What's unique about them is their size. They're large and very whimsical, and they have little blank faces, so you can do whatever you want with them.
Right, and the design team has come up with some fabulous looks. Sound intriguing? Come play with us. Here are the newest ones. Now, this is actually the third release of these sets of dolls, and they're called 7, 8, 9, and 10.
But, you know, so they don't have these fantastic names, but you can see, so that's how you would order them by number.
Right.
But they are large, and you measured them.
Yeah, a little over 7 inches, and so that's, you know, very different. There are some names, and I'm not sure where we found these, but Olive, Lorena, Riley, something.
You're better
but
than I am.
7, 8, 9, 10. And then also some borders. So we're going to do a couple of projects for every single one.
Something to think about, when they are so large, we don't really have the acrylic block that would fit them.
Yes, so now what?
It's not completely necessary. I've done these with my hands, and it's a clean rubber stamp, so you can set it down and just press it like that and get the image that you need. You could also place a book on it to get even pressure all the way across.
Okay.
And if you have a die cutting machine, then you can use one of the plastic platforms from that to set on there too.
Okay, so there are options.
There are options.
So we're going to start with 7. Okay,
Number 7.
Here she is, very sweet, and as you commented, no face, so that means a little bit easier perhaps, I'm not sure, but here is our first project, and Gail, you did this, didn't you?
I did.
I love the shimmer.
I started out by embossing it in white, and then I used the metallics gelatos to color in, which was a real simple process.
Okay, so you've done, of course, the dress, the shoes, and her hair.
Right.
Okay.
And off on the side, you can see the borders are these, the words. It says, "Just a sprinkle of fairy dust."
Okay.
And since it was so long,
Right.
I broke it up a little bit, and I did part of the stamp here and part of the stamp here. I just masked off the parts that I wanted to use.
Very nice, very nice. So using the gelatos, they're going to come in sets like so, and you use the metallics as well as the gold and the silver, right?
So I have the image here stamped, and I did this one on cardstock, so you can see that really well. Stamped and embossed in white, like I talked about. Then you just take your gelatos, and I'm going to start with this one, which is, I don't remember the color offhand, but it's in that metallic set.
Okay.
And you just put it right on your image. And it's okay to go right over the embossing, because you can wipe it off later. And you can just kind of color it around, get it wherever you need it there.
The nice thing about gelatos is it looks pretty ragged as you're coloring, and you're not doing it in a solid manner, but then the magic happens when you
pull out the little cotton swabs and start moving them around. So, okay, I've got my color on there. I get a cotton swab, and I just start pushing it around.
Now that's interesting, because I've seen baby wipes and I've seen using the finger, but I don't know that I would have thought about the cotton swab.
Well, I think I was a little worried. I don't know. I was a little worried about the baby wipes for some reason, so I pulled out a cotton swab. They would have worked, but this one gives me so much control. That's what I liked about it. I can get it right up to the edges, and I can blend them together down here.
I bet you could also use one of the styluses with the foam pad on the end might work.
I hadn't thought about that. And if you need a little more up to the edge, you can just add a little bit more as you go. Like, I feel like it needs to be a little bit thicker, so I'm just going to do it right here real quick. And then just keep blending. One more thing, when I'm all done, when I have the look that I want, when I feel like it's blended enough, then I'm going to get a clean swab and wipe a little bit off of those white edges on the embossing, so you can really see it pop.
Kind of like the Color Me products, yes. So perfect.
If you turn, you can see how that works.
And what I love is, as I said when we started, that shimmer that the gelatos provide, and that's just perfect. So this was with the Versamark and then the superfine white embossing powder.
Right.
And you use some of the fancy trims, it looks like. No, not on this one.
This is from
That's
one of the
another one.
ribbons. This is from one of our ribbon sets.
Okay, great. And some of the petaloo flowers. So beautiful. And not an inside, but she's done. Now, the same stamp, but a totally different look, and you can start dressing them, right. This time with ribbon, and that's probably where the petaloo trim comes in now that I look at it.
So that wide crochet lace is underneath, and then a wide piece, and this is from the Simply Susan ribbon set. You've got this really wide crepe.
And then you've got the Simply Susan papers.
And for that, all Lene did was she just placed that down and started zotting it at the top. You zot, and then you pleat and zot, pleat and zot. You just kind of keep moving along down the line till you have something frilly at the bottom.
Or those of you who remember a sewing needle and thread could stitch it with a running stitch and then tighten it. So she has been stamped on a separate piece of paper and then the coloring in.
Then colored in with Spectrum Noir pens. And then cut out. And there's some stickles here around on her hair, which is cute.
Let me wiggle her a little bit.
I want to show you something that she did here on her dress, or at least on the top part of her dress.
Okay.
I've got a couple of Spectrum Noirs. One is from the purple set, and I've got the blender pen. And Lene took the purple set. This is probably a different color purple, but it still works. And just kind of wide swaths of color there.
Now she did it in the stamped image, right?
She did, yeah. Once she stamped the image, this is what she did on the top. In fact, if you'd like to put it right beside it, I'm working on this part right here. So she put that purple there, a different purple, fine. And then you get out your blender pen, and you start picking up dots.
Oh, this was like for her to make a dotted top.
And you can do it a couple of times. See how that works?
Oh, so it's actually lifting
the color right back off. Yeah. So that's what she did. That's how she made the dots on that cute little top. It's a simple technique.
Yeah, and so that top then can match the look of the dots.
The dots.
Okay, I was kind of wondering what paper she had done.
You also want to remember about these stamps. We talked about how large they are. This card is larger than our standard 5 by 6.5 inch blank card.
Right. So you're really going to start with a piece of cardstock as your surface.
Right.
And in this case, the front is shorter than the back, and the instructions are going to be in the gallery. So
this is also from the Simply Susan paper tool.
It is.
So it's a very cute little focal right there.
Very nice. And I like how this black dot just really draws your eye right there.
And you don't have to put her like completely covering. I like how it goes off the edges of it. And then she used the border stamps for a little bit of extra.
I was looking at that, wondering if she did it with pen work, but she used that fun little border. And again, using it in pieces as you did.
Sure.
And then she used another just to sprinkle of fairy dust. So the long way, and this is where the silver stickles also came in.
Stickles on there.
And then
just beautiful.
There's that other stamp and more of the paper toll.
I love that. I love how this is going off the edge. So here's your greeting, and you don't have to put anything else on the inside.
So sweet. So number 7, we've got 2 very, very different looks.
Right.
Let's go into number 8.
Number 8.
Now the tags were designed to go with the stamps when the first batch was released, and these are longer pieces, and there are 48 in here. Now they're all the same design, but you can do lots of things with them, like what you've done.
You can't really see the full tag even in this picture. It's got this text work on it. It doesn't have all this that you see, but it's just a beautiful vintagey, almost a postcard.
Right. Well, here, let me open the package.
You can see here.
Oh, okay.
There, you can see it. It looks like that.
Yeah.
So beautiful backdrop to work on, and then she added some paper, some torn paper back here, inked the edges a little bit.
Now, this doll has a hat, and we have hats for you. Christina, our marketing director, did this whole download of different hats that you can put on your doll. So this is exclusively for Paper Wishes, and you can see that we've got witches, we've got antlers and Christmas things.
So you can dress up your doll.
Yes, of course you can dress up your doll.
So that's one of the hats she's wearing, and Lene cut a little bit, if you can get in kind of close, she cut a little bit of the hat right there so that she could tuck the head of the doll into the hat.
Very nice.
And I see some of it is patterned already, but then colored in with Spectrum Noir. And there's some extra shading. You'll see she'll use a lighter color, and these are from the pinks, a lighter color all over the dress, and then she'll add a little darker color right along those lines for some highlighting.
Right, and you can see how the dress isn't a solid color. She's left some lighter areas at the bottom kind of flaring out, and she's layered some of her flowers too.
I can show you a little bit about when you're coloring the skin on your doll, whatever colors you choose to use, it's best to start with the lighter color, which I believe is this one. Sometimes it's hard to tell just looking at the pens, and I'm gonna test it off to the side. Yeah, it's really pale.
Really pale.
Hard to see. But when you start, you would go all over. You want to go all over with one color.
Is this in the Essentials set?
Yes.
Okay.
This one. No, not Essentials. Excuse me. It's from Pale Hues.
Oh, okay.
So the Essentials has a little bit more of browns. These have a little bit more pink hue to them.
Good to know.
And then you can just
now,
add
just
a little
before
bit.
you do something, let me lift it up, because I think straight on it's looking very white. Now, if I lift this, I think you can see a little bit more of that soft pink
It's
that
just
you added.
barely
Yeah.
colored in. And then you can just add a little bit more around the edge. It's very easy just to... Oh, because you can't even see it, can you? But that's where I would do it. I would sort of shade it on one side. Now, I don't know if you can see that.
It's
She did
very
a little
faint.
bit more, and
Yeah.
you can see it on hers a little bit more.
Okay. Now, we have this doll, and I wanted just to bring the stamp in, so we'll back up a little bit to see suite number 8. But then you can do something else. Now, this is our standard 5 by 6.5 card. And the reason it is because she is in the oval
The labels.
cutting die, right, or the
Right.
labels cutting die.
Yeah.
So just the top of her, so life is too short. And look at the silver, or the rhinestones.
The rhinestones, and this is from the Eternal or the Allure set. I can't remember.
Right, from Want to Scrap.
They come like this, so you can just stick them on there in that pattern. But yeah, I love how this is from the 3 Lacy Labels, I think is what it is. And so this is framing the top portion of the doll in these vibrant colors.
And it's also on a tag. So the same tag that we just showed you, this has just been cut off. So life's too short, and we're going to open it up. See the bottom part of her, buy the shoes.
This is a great idea. So there's a way
very
to
fun.
make the card the size that you would put into a normal mailing envelope.
Right.
But the colors you're seeing there are just fantastic, and I want to show you how that was achieved, and that's with gelatos.
Okay.
So Amy started by stamping the doll on cardstock. And then, actually, she may have done the gelatos and then stamped it on, but either way it works. So I've got 2 different gelatos. They come from the red set and the yellow set.
Okay.
So this one is bubblegum and tangerine. I love these sets because they come with all of these hues that complement. So in the yellow set, you're actually going to get these oranges.
Right.
You only need 1 from each, and you're going to start at the top. Now, you're going to stamp this more than once because she cut out parts of the dress to layer on top. So what I'm focusing on is the dress and not the rest of the doll for this technique. And you're just going to start by coloring a couple of inch swath of the pink gelatos on top.
That just looks wrong somehow, doesn't it?
No, and then start down at the bottom with the orange and move my way up and push that up a little bit more. And they're going to blend in the center. A little bit more of this one. Then the trick to get those to blend together is with a baby wipe. So any kind of I'm not sure what it is about it. It's the alcohol in it that makes them blend so well.
Or the liquid or what, yeah.
And then you just start at the top and start moving down. At that point I'm going to stop, get a clean area and continue.
It is such magic. It just...
So that it just blends beautifully, and it's still vibrant. If you want to add more, you can always add right on top of that and just kind of keep going if you want it to be a little bit more vibrant. See how it's a little bit darker at the bottom.
Now, if you're wondering about her having pink and orange skin, that the dress is actually cut out and glued onto the body that's been stamped.
So that's what I was mentioning before. So in this part, I'm working only on the dress. The dress is going to be cut out. And actually, after she did this, she went in with a little bit of ink on a sponge and inked the top a little bit, and you can see that.
Let me show you. So
get a little bit of shadowing there on top.
And she did leave a little bit of the pink on her hair, which I think is really pretty. So that's nice. Now, just so you can see what those crystals are, this is the full sheet. So you can see, and it's an adhesive strips, just like you're accustomed to. But you can cut them apart and
place them however they will fit on your page. So if you just need a little bit up here and a little bit down here. I love the pave crystals. Right in the middle of from the Bodacious Blooms cutting die used there.
They're from Queen, and they do a really nice job. Now these flowers are from the Bodacious Blooms cutting die, and it's the smallest one, and you can see that it just does a great job of adding little bits of flowers in here.
So lots of little elements put in together, and it's just beautiful. So here's the bottom part of that dress. The rest of it is used on the front, and the shoes, which were also done stamped separately, colored, and then plopped right on top. And this one is foam tape, so you get a little bit of dimension.
Now, I do have to tell you about the next one.
Okay.
This is a scrapbook page, and it is using another stamp. This must be number 9. And this has been done by Amy. And we have to talk about Amy because Amy, in fact, you should see her. Here she is. Looks normal and everything, doesn't she?
So well, nice.
This is very nice. Amy in real life. And Amy is in her own little world, bless her heart. And we love her world. But she has used some things on this wonderful page that are not yet available. So in about 2 weeks, January 3rd, they will be available.
And the reason for that is because she gets so excited about all of these products. I totally understand that because they are very exciting and we want to use them right now.
I want to pick on her and you want to protect her. But what she used, and doesn't the doll look darling?
It is
absolutely
gorgeous.
darling.
Now this is also from the download, one of the little hats.
And there's the hat, and it will fit, so that's nice. So why am I giving Amy such a bad time? Well, look at the flowers. Aren't those flowers darling?
They're just gorgeous.
Just perfect.
With the leaves are great. And
look
it's
at that
green pearl finish. It's just beautiful with the
so great.
Flower.
Yeah, well, that's not going to be around till January 3rd, and it's going to look like this. So the Tiny Flowers Dazzles comes in a 3-pack. It's got leaves and stuff, but we have discussed things with Amy about her world and the rest of our world.
You can get to work on the page, and then you can get the flowers in January and add them. You won't have Christmas pictures till then anyway.
Okay, let's look at what she did. So her hat is the cutout, but look at the glitter. Look at that.
Right. This is from the
encrusted jewels, and these are the white ones, right?
The white ones, and that particular bit that's in there is the shaved ice fragments.
Yes.
So are pulled out, and I am going to show you what she did there. She has that there, and the doll, first of all, is stamped on cardstock.
Okay.
On several times, like at least a couple of times, so that she could paper piece.
Right.
She also stamped it on this, what's called peacock paper for that dress.
Okay.
It's just perfect.
The peacock has an embossed image, which is very trendy, actually, with the feathers.
It's textured. You can feel it on there. It's almost like leather.
It's a specialty paper, but she stamped the dress on there.
She stamped the dress on there, and I think she used a little bit of the ink to get a little bit more shading in there, where you can see. She used Spectrum Noir on the doll stamp herself, gave her a little bit rouged cheeks, and down on the bottom are these. Oh, you're going to mention that?
Yeah, I was going to do, this is the fancy trims from Petaloo, so you can see that this sparkly is just perfect out there.
On the dress, and then the stocking.
The stockings.
So when she stamped that on the white cardstock, she colored the top with the Spectrum Noir pens, and she added stripes like this.
But there's something else going on these legs.
There is. So
Amy?
Amy talked to Susan and I. She said, what should I do with those stockings? And Susan said, put glitter on them. And I said, put stripes on them. So she did both. So it's great. Once you've stamped it, you're going to do your pen work up here with the Spectrum Noir. You know that dress is going to get cut out and set right on top of this image. So on this part, you go ahead and just put in some stripes with a Spectrum Noir pen. Doesn't matter if you go over the edges because this is all going to be cut out. Then you get out some 3D crystal lacquer, and you're going to actually paint that on. Here, I'm going to use this real quick.
Okay.
I forgot my paintbrush.
I have a paintbrush.
You got one? Yay!
Let's
see if I can. I'll just put a little of this on the plastic, and I didn't test it, so I can't get it out. So I'm just going to open it. It's another great way of doing it, and put the brush right in there.
I know we could rehearse, but why do that?
Bother?
Which pen would you like?
This will be fun.
Okay.
And you just get a little of that crystal lacquer, and you paint it right onto those striped
So
toes.
it's not going to run the ink, so that's nice to know.
Right. I need more than that. There we go.
So you're just smearing it over.
This is basically just going to be the glue that's going to adhere the glitter.
And the glitter that you're going to use is the micro glitter?
Is the micro glitter that we've been talking about so much lately.
Our new favorite, huh? Going with our dolls, that's working well.
So I'm going to go ahead and finish them off down here.
Okay.
There, all the way down. Then we've got the micro glitter.
Let me put that on a paper for you.
And just sprinkle the micro glitter right on there. It doesn't take much.
But what this glitter does is that it is translucent, so you're going to see the stripes beneath it, but it's going to give just that sheen.
Can you see it?
Yeah,
there you go.
Let's wiggle it a bit. And then the crystal lacquer, of course, dries clear. So you've got this wonderful stocking look. And here is our little girl from tip of her toe to the top of her hat.
Oh, and speaking of the hat,
yes,
which was also just...
Oh, that's right.
There's the hat. The same technique was used with crystal lacquer just being applied wherever you want it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes,
oh.
she put it there, she put it there. Anywhere that white, you see that white furry look. And once that's on there, then you just sprinkle on.
Oh, so no stamping,
yeah,
no heat embossing.
You don't have to heat emboss. This doesn't heat emboss anyway. It always goes onto some embossing powder that gets heated, and that's what sticks it. Well, glue will stick it on too.
Wow.
And there you go.
Excellent. And it is just such a wonderful, frosty, feathery, soft look. And
she is definitely Santa's girl.
She really is. And speaking of which, there's our photo and more of the flowers and a really nice banner going down to the side. So that's doing well.
So we forgive Amy for that?
We do. Besides, it was just a really good opportunity to give her trouble. Now, our last doll is this one, and it is by far the largest and a little over 7 inches, but look what has been done. And this has many things going on.
Well, let's start by showing the whole card before we...
Okay, so we're going to back up a little bit. So she is on, again, a little bit larger card, but she is peeking out.
Actually, this is a regular 5 by 6.5 inch card.
Okay.
It's just that she is larger than the card. And this is done on the Gypsy Jewels paper pack.
Right.
It's a little bit of green circles holographic out there for an accent.
Along to the edge. And she is on black. She's been stamped with...
She's been stamped with cotton white StazOn onto black cardstock.
But then
we used one of these great templates and silver embossing paste to create this look on top.
Now, before we give you the demo of that, let me undo this ribbon and undo her because
so she's just sitting there waiting.
Right. Waiting to be removed. And then as we open, this is a Just For You card, we have dresses that have been designed.
So these were stamped on the different pattern papers. So this is a gift card for a little girl.
Right. So this is all in the Gypsy Jewels. So she's got a dress.
And each one of them has been, all we did was stamp it and then decorate it with jewel dazzles and stickles. That one has stickles all over it, and this one has little shimmer stickles.
Right.
And these are real simple. Once you stamp them, then you just cut out the dress portion only and add some little 1/4 inch by 3/4 inch tabs that I just glued onto the back.
Oh, okay.
That's what those are for.
Okay.
So that when you lay that on here, you just slide that right on there like that, and fold those little tabs down. I
Quite
didn't get it in there. There. And there you go.
I also
have a dress-up doll.
Love what you did on the inside of the card, because a dress-up doll for a special girl, happy birthday, and then there's the top of the stamp, and then again one of the
border stamps down at the bottom. This part is computer journals, and this is from the Just a Little Greeting stamp set.
Okay, so the 2 holes that you have here, they're holding a ribbon for the inside for the dresses, and then for the outside.
Right, it's just 2 holes, and one ribbon goes one way, and the other ribbon comes out this way.
And then more of that stamping.
So this is a nice little Christmas gift for some little girl.
It's actually,
and it's
wonderful.
Very fun to make. This is like the fun part of the doll stamp. But getting back to...
When you're a mother of sons, you don't have a lot of opportunities to play with dolls, do you?
There you go. So getting back to the embossing paste, I want to show you a little bit of how I did that. I should probably grab a craft sheet.
And this is using, as you said, the silver embossing paste, which is one of our new favorite tools.
So I started by stamping the doll on black cardstock with the white stays on, so I get that look. And before I use the embossing paste, I wanted to make sure that it's only going to go on the dress. It can go around here as well because I'm going to cut that off, but I didn't want it on the body of the doll, basically. Oh. So I stamped again on a piece of
Post-it.
On a Post-it note, and then I cut out the part that I want the embossing paste to be on, and set that right on top like that.
Nicely done.
So it's just a very simple way of masking off the areas that I need.
Right.
Now I've got the stencil here, which is the swirl dot stencil, and I thought it would be a good idea to concentrate the smaller swirls down at the bottom, so you just set that kind of where you want it.
And I have to say, this is the stencil we used with the mixed media scrapbooking, and it's just become a favorite of ours, and it's from our friends at ClearSnap. So good job on their part.
And then you just get some of the embossing paste on your squeegee and start swiping it down.
And by having that protected, you're not...
Yeah, I'm not getting it anywhere else, just on the dress.
And we do have the squeegees, but if you don't have one, you can use a credit card, you can use a piece of cardstock, you can use a room key, lots of options.
Okay, and then you carefully want to lift it so it doesn't...
And you do want to lift it right away because you don't want that to dry on your stencil.
And you want to get it in water right away somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's what was done, and then I'll also be removing, obviously, the masked area.
Right.
And once you let that dry, then you cut the dress out.
And voila, this is what you have. So it's really pretty simple. And that's, I think, why we like the embossing paste. It's such a dramatic look, and yet it takes such little effort. And so our doll resides on this card, as we showed you, with her all of her fashion
dresses
on the inside. Now, the last one we have is another step with this very same stamp, and look at her. She is just magnificent. And she has butterfly wings that are encrusted with pearls. And
she's been stamped on the Stolen Moments paper pack.
Right. Now that's really nice because we've been doing a lot of coloring in, and so it's nice to see her on something that exists that
right. So you can add a little bit to it, but it's got a lot of design to it already. And how I achieved that was stamping it several times on the papers. I actually stamped it embossed with the dark brown bark embossing powder.
Okay.
So Versamark and embossing powder, and I did it on 3 different shades of paper. This one, which I only needed the top of, so I did that, and then this very dark one, and this is actually the base. Stamped and embossed, cut it out, and then here's your base. And also, I didn't do it because I kind of ran out of time, but don't forget to cut out that little spot right here between her arm and the dress so that you can see through there.
Where her elbow's sticking out.
Right. And then individually, the dress pieces and the hairband will be cut out and stacked on top of this piece. But on this one, before I cut it out, I inked it a little bit, and I've got my stylus here, and I've got 2 chalks, very well used, fluid chalk inks, and this one is dark brown, and I've also got toffee. And it's very simple to apply this with the stylus. I think I started with the dark first, so I'll do a little bit of that and just add it in some of the shading areas. And it's okay to go off the design as well because this is going to be cut out. So I try to, I need a little bit more.
Well loved.
There we go. Around the bottom, just up to that area so you can get it a little shaded around the bottom. So that gives your shading on the bottom of the dress. And then for other areas, I add right up here so that you can get
into the folds.
Yeah, right into the folds of the dress.
Kind of like what Lene did with the Spectrum Noir pens is
And up around the top too. So it's really easy to get that shading effect anywhere you need it.
Boy, that is. And it is so beautiful on her. Now, she is an easel card, so she stands up like so. And you've added some of the silver hammered paper, and also this is Stolen Moments, you said, right?
This is Stolen Moments,
Okay.
so the silver hammered paper, and the borders come straight from the butterfly dazzles, which are what are used for the wings.
Right, which is just gorgeous. Now, the dazzles have been placed on acetate.
On acetate, so just very easily, here's a piece of acetate, which you won't be able to see. I wonder if you can see it on here.
No.
No, not so much.
Because it's clear.
A little bit. There's the acetate. And if you pull off one of these butterflies, super simple. Once I get it started, super simple. You just pull one off. And these come in silver too, so you can change your color pattern if you want. Just place it right on that acetate. And then you cut out around the edge, and then you have those wings.
And what's nice about doing that is then you can lift the wings up. And it's also that you've added the pearls. Now, I have the pearls here somewhere. I've lost them.
And they're the Eternal Pearls, I think?
Yes, I think so.
Right. And it's got that same, it's very similar to the rhinestones
right.
there. And I just cut them off, just the parts that I needed, and they're the same on both sides of the strip of pearls. So you can match up what you want on the wings this side. And there were some of them that I cut out and I placed behind. And individually, I cut out some of the remaining ones and decorated her dress.
And you also gave her a little necklace and pearl earrings, of course. Now, this is from the same set of the dazzles?
From the dazzles, there's a label right there.
Great.
And it says Wish right there. And so that's
you
the
get the
greeting you're
wish.
getting.
Beautiful. And I love mixing the metals, just beautiful. Down on the inside of her card, so you can see that this is an easel. So the card itself is much smaller than this piece, and the front of it has been scored the same way as the fold.
I actually started with a 5 by 6.5 inch card, and I just cut one edge off, so it ends up being a 5 by 5 card.
Okay.
And then this was all done on the paper to stand up on the front.
And simply glued to the bottom part of the card front.
And the gallery's got all those dimensions of everything you need to do with it.
And then we've got a butterfly here, a swirl from the dazzles.
And that's foam taped on, so it'll hold up the front of your easel card.
Just spectacular. So you may want to have your dolls dressed or with stamping or with gelatos or anything, but we know you're going to have a wonderful time
with these stamps. Yeah.